While my grandfather was in the ICU, my own parents drained $990,000 from my account. The money I had saved to help him. My sister smirked and said, "We need that money more than he does." My father added, "He should just die." And then, bang, the front door flew open. Hey, Reddit. I always thought the day I would lose faith in my family would be quiet. A slow disappointment, a painful drift, a gentle unraveling. But it wasn't quiet. It was loud and violent, like the universe tearing a curtain open to reveal who they really were. It started the night my grandfather went into the ICU. The doctors said he needed surgery, one that cost nearly $1 million. Insurance wouldn't cover it. Too risky, they said. Too expensive. But he was my world, the man who raised me when my parents couldn't be bothered. So, I did what I had promised him years ago. I used my savings, all $990,000 I had accumulated over a decade, to give him the best chance of survival. I transferred the money into a sub-account I had created specifically for emergencies like this. Then, the next morning, I found the entire account empty. Every last dollar was gone. I stared at the bank notification, my hands trembling so violently I could barely hold my phone. Transfer complete. Recipient dad's name. Transfer complete. Recipient mom's name. My breath vanished. It wasn't fraud. It wasn't a hacker. It was them, my own parents. I drove home faster than I ever had in my life, my heart pounding like a war drum. When I burst through the front door, they were all sitting at the dining table, my mom, my dad, and my sister, laughing. Laughing like nothing was wrong. "Where's my money?" I whispered. They all froze. My mom's eyes widened, then narrowed. "Oh, you found out." I felt sick. "You stole $990,000 from me," I said, my voice cracking. "That was for Grandpa's surgery." My father scoffed loudly. "Your grandfather is old," he said. "It's a waste of money." My jaw dropped. I couldn't even process those words. "He should just die," my father added casually, picking food from his teeth. "It's his time." My sister leaned back in her chair, smirking. "We need that money more than he does." That sentence will never leave me. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I broke. "You what?" I whispered. "You think your lifestyle matters more than his life?" My sister shrugged, flipping her hair. "You'll recover the money. Grandpa won't. So what's the point of wasting it?" My hands curled into fists. I couldn't tell if I wanted to collapse or burn the entire place down. "If he dies," my mother said coldly, "it's not our fault. It's just nature." I felt the room tilt like gravity itself wanted to give up. "You are monsters," I whispered. "You're not my family." My father stood up abruptly, towering over me. "You will not talk to us like that in our house." I stepped back. "This isn't your house," I said. "Grandpa bought it, and you used his pension to furnish it." His face turned red. "You ungrateful brat." Before he could finish, I heard footsteps behind me, heavy, rushed, determined. Bang! The front door flew open, so hard it slammed against the wall. We all turned. It was my grandfather's attorney, his coat still wet from the rain. He was breathing heavily, like he had run here. Behind him, 2 police officers stepped into the hall. My father's face drained of color. My mother gasped. My sister froze mid-smirk. "What is this?" she stuttered. The attorney straightened himself. He wasn't angry, he was furious. "I warned you," he said, his voice low. "I told you that touching her funds would be a felony, that those accounts were protected, and you did it anyway." My dad stepped forward. "You have no proof." The attorney cut him off. "We have everything." He lifted a folder. Bank logs, transfers, attempted cover-ups, and his eyes flicked to me. "A call from the ICU nurse informing us someone tried to cancel your father's surgery on your behalf." My heart dropped. My mom's face twisted. "It wasn't canceled. It was," the attorney snapped, "by someone pretending to be his medical proxy." My sister's voice shook. "That's not a crime." "It is when you're trying to kill a man for money," the attorney snarled. The police officer stepped forward. "Ma'am, sir, we need both of you to come with us for questioning." My father exploded. "You can't arrest us in our own home." "This home," the attorney said slowly, "belongs to your father. And as of this morning, he changed his will." My mother's eyes widened. No, he wouldn't. He left everything. the attorney continued, pointing at me. My sister's mouth dropped open. My father's knees buckled. My mother shook her head in disbelief. He wouldn't. He loved us. He did, the attorney said quietly, until he found out what you were doing while he was fighting for his life. Tears burned my vision, not from sadness but from relief. My parents were walked out of the house, screaming at the officers, blaming each other, sputtering excuses that fell apart under the weight of the truth. My sister stayed frozen at the table, shaking. I stood there, staring at the doorway where they disappeared, unable to breathe. The attorney walked up to me and placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. He asked me to tell you something, he said softly. My chest tightened. What? The attorney swallowed. He said, tell her I'm proud of her and tell her she's the only one I trust. My knees nearly gave way. I covered my face, and for the first time in months I cried, not because of what I lost, but because of what I finally realized. My grandfather never needed saving. I did, and now everything was about to change. 3 months had passed. 3 months since the night my parents drained nearly $1 million from my account. 3 months since they tried to stop my grandfather's surgery. 3 months since they were taken away in handcuffs while my sister shook at the dining table. But if you think the story ended there, you don't know my family. And you definitely don't know my grandfather. For the first 2 weeks after their arrest, my life felt like it wasn't mine anymore. Detectives, financial crime investigators, lawyers, reporters camping outside the house, family betrayal headlines. I didn't ask for any of this, but I had to face it because my family didn't just steal from me. They nearly killed the only person who ever truly loved me. It was early morning when the ICU nurse called. He's awake, she said gently, and asking for you. I dropped everything and rushed to the hospital. When I walked into the room, my grandfather looked frail but alive. His eyes, soft, warm, tired, found mine instantly. He reached out a trembling hand and whispered the words that shattered me. You saved me. I broke down, crying right there at his bedside. He squeezed my hand, not strong but firm enough. After a long moment, he asked, Did they do it? His voice cracked. I nodded. My grandfather closed his eyes as if absorbing the weight of it. Your parents? Your sister, he whispered. I had always suspected they cared more about the money than me, but I never imagined they would go this far. A single tear rolled down the side of his face. They're not your burden anymore, he said. I made sure of that. I didn't understand what he meant until 3 days later. His attorney called me to the office. My heart hammered as I walked in. My sister was already there, puffy eyes, hair unwashed, shaking her leg nonstop. She glared at me like everything was somehow my fault. Then the attorney opened the folder. The will was simple, clean, and final. My grandfather left everything to me, the house, the land, the pension, the remaining investments, everything. My sister shot up from her chair. This is a joke, she shrieked. He promised me. No, the attorney said calmly. You promised him something in return. You promised to take care of him. Instead, you helped your parents steal from your sister. My sister turned to me, her eyes wild. This is your fault. You made him change it. I stared at her. No, I said quietly. You did. She stormed out, slamming the door so hard the walls shook. The attorney cleared his throat. He said you were the only one who never used him. I swallowed hard. He said, the attorney continued, his voice softening, she is the only one who knows what love really means. I broke down again, but this time it was a different kind of pain. Grief, love, relief, and finally justice. My parents went to trial for fraud, identity theft, attempted medical interference, and unauthorized financial transfers. The evidence was overwhelming. The bank logs, the transfer traces, the forged call to the hospital pretending to be me, and the recording of my parents dismissing Grandpa's life like it was worthless. My mother cried in court. My father blamed stress. My sister tried to pretend she knew nothing. The judge wasn't moved. You didn't just manipulate finances, he said firmly. You manipulated a dying man's life. My parents were sentenced. My sister received probation, mandatory therapy, and financial penalties. I didn't cheer. I didn't smile. Justice doesn't feel warm. It feels heavy but right. My parents' arrest tore open every secret and crack our family had hidden. Some relatives supported them, Some supported me, and some stayed silent. But my grandfather only grew stronger. With proper care, his health improved dramatically. He started physical therapy, regained color, appetite, and a spark in his eyes I thought I'd lost forever. Every day, he looked at me with a kind of gratitude that made my heart ache. One evening, while I helped him sit up, he said, "You didn't save my life because I'm family. You saved my life because you're good." I blinked back tears. "You taught me to be," I whispered. He smiled, the same smile he had when I was 5. "That's why everything I own is yours. You'll protect it, and you'll protect yourself." I held his hand. "I will," I said, "and I'll protect you too." A week later, while Grandpa and I were eating lunch, someone banged on the front door, not just a knock, but a bang. I froze. Grandpa whispered, "Who is that?" I walked to the door, heart racing. I opened it, and my sister stood there, crying, shaking, broken, not angry, not arrogant, just shattered. "Please," she sobbed. "I have nowhere to go. Mom and Dad blame me for everything. The lawyers blame me, too. I don't know what to do." She collapsed to her knees. For a moment, I felt that old instinct, the urge to fix things, to take responsibility, to save everyone. But then I remembered the money she took from me, the surgery she tried to stop, and the smirk when she said, "Grandpa doesn't deserve to live." Grandpa came to the door behind me. He looked at her quietly and said the words I never expected him to say. "You can come in, but you will not hurt her again." He nodded toward me. My sister sobbed harder. I opened the door wider, not because she deserved mercy, but because I finally understood something. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for the person who survived them. My family may have broken themselves, but I didn't break with them. I chose truth. I chose love. I chose my grandfather. And somehow, in the ashes of everything they destroyed, I found who I was meant to be.